everyone, it's Vian Valerian in A.O.D.S as in Authors One Day Special, to which is an event that is prepared by D.W Originals, but not yet really fully prepared, as it will be done daily or monthly or yearly, as in yearly is anniversary wise, as we celebrate every year in A.O.D.S on achievements of D.W Originals, the stories it has published and what it has achieved further and what awards it has won, maybe, because since we're in the first phases of our works. But without getting more, the show will have two sections. A.O.D.S meaning by two sections it will have Get to Know Him, and the last one is the Inner Thoughts, to which to get to know him, you get to know me, as in Vian Valerian, the author of the several stories that are coming, and the two stories that are already available on Wattpad app and Leading app, as in the Castle 3 and the Region Nassus. Don't wonder about the noises outside, because I decided to do this at my area, at the place where I stay, because I really loved the atmosphere. The weather is cool, it's partially raining, so I thought it would be very nice doing it at home and doing it somewhere that it's relaxing. So I decided to do it at home, so don't mind the noises, don't mind everything else, just listen to me, because the show is about to get hot. And the first section, as I said earlier, is Get to Know Him. That's where we're moving. See you there. Welcome back to the first section of A.O.D.S, to which the first section says Get to Know Him. Here is where you're gonna learn my history, what I've passed through, what I've gone through in my life, what really gives me motivation of writing, what do I have to tell the other people around the world that are listening to this right now or are watching this right now on your YouTube channel, to which is D.W. Oh, sorry, I'm really speaking too fast, maybe. It's D.W Originals as a YouTube channel that you're gonna get us, and you're gonna get this video and you're gonna stream it because it's now available worldwide. So let's get to the first section. Well, clearly my name is Vian Valerian. That's famously known, but in African traditions we have their surnames, to which sometimes they're really awkward to mention, but to mine is Komu, as Vian Valerian Komu. So I am really happy to reach you guys, though it's just a video to you physically, but it's nice to know that there are people watching and there are people listening to what you have to say. It's really inspiring, it's really motivating that yes, there are people waiting for something, so let me give them what they want. That's exactly that I'm hoping every day. So yes, apart from my name, is that right now I'm in the first year of my studies as an IT, information technology, on the one university in Tanzania called the National Institute of Transport, which I think if God wishes, I'll attain my first degree there as an IT, and I'll be moving around. So it's a part of my writing stories thing. I do the IT thing, so yeah, two thingies going unicularly, and you don't know, maybe there'll be many things coming soon that I don't know of. But speaking of my life, my life has had some challenges, a lot of them, and everybody faces challenges. It's just the way that you get to stick with your challenges. It's just how you get to deal with them. It's how you handle your situations. That's the most important thing to know. How you handle them when the problems come, how you do it, how you tackle to them, and things like that, and it will just flow as what you want. I think something like that. But speaking of me particularly, I went through a lot, and I remember in my history, the first time that I started writing, like getting an idea like I should be writing, is when I was in Tanzania we call it O level, as an ordinary level, but I think in outside in the United States, I think they call it the junior school, something like that. I'm really not sure, but I think it's the thing. That's how they call it. So when I was in Form 3 as in ordinary level, I got that passion, I got that feeling that, hey, you can do something about what you feel. I felt like I should write stories. And by then I had some friends to which who were, most of them, they were comic drawers, and they were displaying their stories in a comic way. And trust me when I say they are comic drawers, they are really talented in drawings. I know some of them, I can mention all of them if you need them. But if you need the names particularly of the comics writers, the friends I have, you should but if you need one, you can go to Instagram and check the Campbell_comics. The guy, I really know the guy, and he really knows how to write the comics. You can check him, and maybe he can do something. You can partner up, or you can do something about it. But proceeding with what I know is, yeah, so I got that passion, and I said, yes, I have to do this. And then I started writing randomly, but as I was writing, it was making me lose concentration on my studies. Honestly, that's the honest thing to speak. It's like I was losing track with what I was really meant to do in school. I was mostly doing the writing than the studying. So I remember my mom usually told me like, hey, you're doing too much of this. Just do one thing and then it's complete, go to another thing. It's like when she said that, it meant like study, and then you finish studying, go to the writing part, to the writing stories part. But you know, that desperation, that addiction of yours that you get inside, that yeah, I can do this even better than anybody. And then I decided like, yeah, I should do it. So I decided to do it. I proceeded to say, honestly, at first time it was really hard because I had to drop. I had dropouts somehow and my grades, but I still had school. So yeah, I started figuring out the ways I can balance these two. Like I write stories, but also I study. I write stories, but also I concentrate on my studies. So that's the thing. I came up with the solution, but somehow, you know, the addiction really works more better. I don't know. I don't understand the addiction part of the human body. You're addicted to something, you get to do it more even when you set the timetable, like I'm gonna do this at this time, but you feel like every time you get tired, you're gonna do that thing. Every time you feel bored, you're gonna do that thing. Every time you don't feel like starting, you're gonna do that thing that you're addicted. So I thought like, okay. And then at time, the weakness I had back then is that I didn't have to finish the stories. I wasn't able to finish writing the stories. So I was like writing, maybe the story should have 12 chapters, like the Castle 3 that's on Wattpad and Lindnet. It should have 12 chapters, but I end on 5, on the 5th chapter. I read the 5th chapter, I see like, what the hell am I doing? Like, is there even anybody who's gonna read this? But at the time, I remember there were some friends who were reading the stories. Some of them didn't like reading. To the history of Tanzanians, let me tell you, everybody around the world, is that most of the Tanzanians do not have that trait of reading, or just taking a book and starting reading. It's not really their trait. They like listening, watching, that's what they like. So at the time, some of them were reading, some of them they were not reading, they wanted me to narrate. And the weakness I had is that I start writing and then you tell me to narrate it, then I narrate it and then I finish narrating, and then yeah, I just lose that passion. I just lose that passion of proceeding with the story. So it ends there. I don't write it anymore. If it's in the 5th chapter, there it is, it's the 5th chapter, I don't do it anymore. Like when you go to visit Wattpad app, you're gonna see the story that is written by me. It's called the Total Eclipse of the Earth. Total Eclipse of the Earth, that was my first story when I was in Form 3. I was writing it on a diary, like with my handwriting. I was writing it and people were reading it somehow. And then I finished up on 4, to which is, I think that. And then I went to the high school, as in Form 5 and Form 6. I went to high school, and then some people were stealing my diary, get to read the story. And some of them were like, telling me, the story is amazing, why did you end here? Why did you end the 5th chapter? You should proceed. And I remember the 5th chapter is where the story got that root of the story, that purpose of the story started to be shown there on the 5th chapter. So I think most people got motivated of reading because of that chapter, the 5th one. So they say right, and then I proceeded some of it, I proceeded, and then I reached like 8th chapter, and then things got tight up. on high school. Then I stopped writing again, so the story ended at the 8th chapter again. So I paused it a while. I didn't write again. A lot of shits happen, and I really, sometimes I really regret of what I do. Like, what the hell, like I should have proceeded, I should have wrote, I should have finished up. Maybe now I could have been, having many stories already, and it will just be left the part of publishing them and people to read. But since I was so lazy at the time, let me say the truth, it's just lazy part. It's nothing more. I cannot give a good idea or a good reason to why didn't I finish the stories. It's the good reason is I was lazy, and that is done. So due to my lazy part, I think it got me back, it pulled me back. And to what I know most in life is that you have an idea, go to it, attack it, go fulfill it, go finish it up. Like, why should you stay with it in your brain? Finish it up, because I know that the principle of natures are very different in everybody. You have an idea, remember that somebody else has a better idea than yours. You take a pause of your idea, then somebody else takes over. But you give it out, and somebody else gives out the idea. It will be like something good, something to cherish, something that you can use in the future cases, something that, wow, it can be used by most of the people in the world. But since you're really afraid and you're stuck in the middle, you can't really figure out, should I, shouldn't I, should I do it, should I not do it? That thing, that pausing for a while, asking questions, will get you far, far way behind, to which you'll not succeed. That's the very advice I give to the world, that you have an idea, go after it, do it, fulfill it, because it's gonna help you in future. It's gonna make you never regret, because you're gonna do wonderful things. So I guess the part has to be very short. I mean, the section of get to know him has to be very short, because it's the first issue of the A.O.D.S as in Authors One Day Special, because we didn't have prior preparations. We just did like, hey, we should do this, hey, we should do that, hey, we should do that and this. So we decided to come up with this. So you get to know me, and then you get to know me more on the Instagram account, on the YouTube account. Though right now I really prefer like displaying my account and my stories in an animation way, because advertising a book is really hard to the one which is in the soft copy, the one that is there somewhere in a soft copy. No, that's not in the hard copy. It's really hard to advertise it. You get some possible things to do. So I decided, like, what if I advertise the things I wrote in an animation way. The characters should be animated, they display what I wrote, and then somebody should feel what I really wrote. Like, maybe the message that's going to be advertised is going to motivate somebody, it's gonna convince somebody that the story is nice, I should read it. Maybe it's gonna meet somebody who is really meant to read the story, so they should read the story. So that's the way I found it better. Like, hey, do the animation thing and advertise your account, advertise your story, advertise your thing that you have, and it will be better. Then I decided it, and then now it's on. You can visit my DWTZ, Instagram account is DW_TZ. That's the Instagram account name that you can go and check out, and you can meet like animations, most of them. So that was the shortest part of the get to know him. I gave you some of the things and an advice that, please, people, you have an idea, go for it. You don't have to sit down and say it's not the right time. When is it going to be the right time? Like, you say, hey, it's not the right time. Who's gonna read this? Who's gonna do what? You have a talent, go for it, do it. We watch America's Got Talent, Europe Got Talent, whatever it is that they call them. Kids, like, they're small kids, they go for it, they go for their talent, they go and attack the talent itself. They go like, we ambush the nature, we go like, we give out what we have inside. That's what everybody should do. You don't sit I was about to insult, but You don't sit yourself down and say that it's not the right time. I don't have a talent. I can do this, I can do that. Who else can tell you that what you can and what you cannot do? Please, nobody can tell you what you can and what you cannot do. If they don't read your stories, fine. Publish them. They don't read, leave it there. Somebody else is gonna read it. They don't cherish you, fine. Somebody's gonna cherish you. Somebody out there is really wishing that you could post anything that you have in mind every day and every second. They wish you could have a lot to give to the society than what you're giving right now or what you're never giving up. So please, you have a talent, do it. Go for it. That's the last word I'm giving you. Go for it. If you have something in you, something that's really itching you, go for it. Find something to do, something to make the world recognize you, something that will make the world see you as a specific, unique somebody. And you get to die somebody, not something that was not recognized by somebody. I'm sorry for the harsh languages, but it's real. It's really motivating somehow. So yeah, that was the section 1 of the Get to Know Him, and right now we're gonna move to the section of the Inner Thoughts, to which is gonna be by me, Vian Valerian. Always, I'm gonna take off everything. I'm gonna take everything on the higher level. I'm sorry, I'm taking too much. So, on the second section of the A.O.D.S event today is going to be on the inner thoughts. The inner thoughts is like, what is Vian really thinking? What is Vian really having in his mind? On the inner thoughts of my head, of my brain. That's what I'm going to talk about in here, in this section. So, what we're going to talk about is this. Like, you see this is a display of what I have in my brain. Like, these are 5 stories that are already in my brain right now, and most of them I already started writing, and 2 of them are already published. So on the 5 is the 2 I started. The one is complete. One of them is complete already in Wattpad and LeadNet, which is The Castle 3, written by me, Vian Valerian, and its notation and its priority. And I'm sorry, but yes, The Castle 3 is fully available, and Regenesis is also available from yesterday, which was is in Wattpad and LeadNet app, which you can get it with fully chapter 1, and you should really read it before other chapters come to catch up. And it will be every Friday. Every Friday a new chapter is gonna be posted on Wattpad and LeadNet app, so you're gonna go there and catch up every day. We'll see that you're reading it mostly and you love it and you give out comments and loves. It's not a condition, but we're just saying we will give them all to you at once. Like, you read the first chapter, you read the second chapter, and you feel like it's really itching, you want to know what's gonna happen next. You give us a comment, you give us a like, you give us whatever you feel like giving us, and we're gonna publish all the chapters found on the Regenesis story, and you're gonna read them all and finish up the story and wait for the more. So on the Inner Thoughts, speaking of The Castle 3, its complete story found on Wattpad and LeadNet. Regenesis already posted from yesterday on Wattpad and LeadNet, but there are also the coming up stories, as the third one is Disengaged Until Your Dark Path Awakes. That's the third story, but the main title is Disengaged. Disengaged, you can't read the Disengaged if you haven't read The Castle 3, so you have really to connect these 2 stories. You have to read The Castle 3 so that you can come and read the Disengaged. So right now we're taking time on publishing the Disengaged because of people finish up reading The Castle 3. So you finish up reading The Castle 3, you start a little bit reading the Regenesis. Regenesis is not connected in these 2 because Regenesis is a sci-fi story, a science fiction. So you just have to read The Castle 3 in order to understand what's going on the Disengaged. Disengaged also written by Vian Valerian, which is me, by D.W Originals. But also there's a 4th story called Frenemies. Frenemies as in friends and enemies united to form frenemies. We know, and its priority says anyone can stab you at the back. You know, we really live and believing like we can trust people, but in real life I think that we cannot really trust everybody. We cannot trust anybody. You can sometimes not even trust yourself, because you can do some shitty stuff and they can really affect what you're gonna have in the future. So just know that Frenemies is gonna come soon, also by D.W Originals, written by Vian Valerian, which is me here on your screen. But also the fifth and the last story that will be closing their half here since January to June, it will be The Untold Secrets Hidden from Us. The Untold is gonna come also soon. The Untold is gonna base on the creatures that we see, the living creatures around us. So we're gonna have kingdoms, 5 kingdoms, and five kingdoms. I'm gonna give you amazing stories that is written by Vian Valerian, which is me, and it will be found on Wattpad and leading up. So apart of these 2 that are already available, that are already starting to be available, apart from the Castle 3, we're gonna have 3 more stories that are going to come soon. So you finish up reading the Castle 3, we posted Disengaged, you're gonna start reading it too. But now read the Regenesis and the Castle 3 that have both started to be available on Wattpad app and Lit now. That's all for the inner thoughts. So get ready for this. All 5 stories are going to give you the best thrilling. They're going to give you the best parts of your life, the best lessons. We hope so, and the best, feelings on Earth. Some people haven't got those best feelings since yeah. So maybe the stories can give you something to feel, something to rely on, something. Yeah. So we really hope that you love the story, you like it. You're gonna share, you're gonna vote for it on Wattpad app, or you're gonna like it on Midnight app. So your votes and your likes are really the things that we depend on, because really D.W Originals wants to rise, wants to be the thing that gets on the top, as a D.W, the book series company that publishes books, original books created and written by its official authors. So see you next time on the A.O.D.S. That's, I don't know, what is it going to be? I don't really know. Is it going to be daily, monthly, or yearly? I don't really know, but you stick to our Instagram account and you're gonna know that A.O.D.S, when is gonna A.O.D.S come back, like in Out of One Day Special, when we're gonna come back. And trust me, when we come back, we're gonna give you a full thing. We're gonna give you something that's ready, prepared, something that is fully enjoyable, fully thing made, not like this one that I decided to just sit at my backyard and started talking shit. But you really want something cool, just wait for the second issue of the A.O.D.S and you're gonna love it, and you're gonna really feel like that's gonna feel. I really don't know how to speak of the emotions, but you're gonna feel great of having the A.O.D.S the second issue. But for the first issue, I really like to close up and say thank you for everybody who has been watching. Thank you for everybody who is really watching until right now. I'm saying thank you so much, and we love you all the fans. We love you all, and I personally, I love you so much. Everybody around the world who's listening at this, everybody around the world who's reading my stories, everybody around the world who is spreading the word that I have stories, that the D.W Originals is alive, people, it's coming up. Thank you everybody, thank you everyone around the world. I really thank you from the bottom of my heart, because without you, I don't have anything to rely on. Without you, nobody reads my story. Without you, nobody likes, nobody votes, nobody what. So I really appreciate everybody who's listening, who's reading, who's playing a specific, a unique task, a unique position on my life, because you really have a lot to contribute on my life. So thank you very much, and see you on the second issue of A.O.D.S that's going to be coming soon. Just stay on our Instagram account of DW_TZ, and you're gonna find out more on when the A.O.D.S is gonna come back and when these 3 other stories are going to be published. For now, it's coming soon, but when are they going to be published? That's the thing that you're gonna stay alerted to our Instagram account, and you're gonna know it. Sorry for the noises around. It's all the part of the whatever I have decided for the show, but thank you very much. It's Vian Valerian closing the A.O.D.S as goodbye. Thank you very much. Thank you again, and thank you.